Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope that this recording finds you well, wherever in the world you may be, whether you listen to this day or night, today or a year from today. I'm recording this. I started recording this at 1:13 a.m. on 3/13, so that means something. I don't know what. It's got to mean something, right? So during the day, during the 12th of March, which is my mother's birthday, so God rest her soul, and if she is listening to this from the great beyond, I wish you happy birthday, Mom. Yesterday, or in the past 24 hours, we have had two Schumann resonance peaks, one at 40 hertz, and a couple hours before that one, we had one at 43 hertz. It's starting to ramp up again. I think about a week from now, it's going to be pretty crazy energy-wise. If you're sensitive to energy, you're going to want to eat a lot of vegetables and fruit, all fresh, and drink a lot of filtered water. Pretty cool though. I mean, I'm happy about the Schumann resonance. It is a very, very cool thing. So today my neighbor's dog, as he does every single day, barks and barks and barks and barks his head off at us. I think this is his way of earning his keep. He wants to go ahead and make sure the food keeps flowing his way, so anyone who he doesn't recognize, he's supposed to scream at repeatedly, and we were tired of it. And as a joke, I said to my youngest son, I said, hey, maybe he's a communist. Maybe you could play the communist national anthem. Then we'll see where his politics lie. We started laughing about it. And to further the joke, my son found a communist anthem on YouTube and played it. And, well, his barking got a little better, but he was still barking. Then I said, well, maybe he's a fascist. Well, to further along the joke, and of course we're laughing and joking throughout this whole thing, this dog is ridiculously always barking. My son put on the fascist national anthem. And the dog immediately shut up, gave him a dirty look, and just kind of stared at him for a while, and then went back into the house. That's how you find out if your neighbor's dog is a fascist. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Why would this dog be calmed by this? Maybe tomorrow we will dispense with the politics and go with something like Beethoven or Mozart. Something's got to soothe this savage beast. Maybe the dog is just jealous because we're always feeding Fred and Ethel Mertz, our friendly neighborhood pigeons. And we're always giving them feed. And today I caught Ethel on the inside of my house eating birdseed off of the inside windowsill. So, I don't know, guys. Pigeons aren't acting any different. Aluna Ash said that they would. They're acting pretty normal. They're tending to trust us a little more. Every day they're feeding out of my son's hand. Ethel has fed out of my hand. Fred is still a little skeptical. Yeah, we'll get to it. Eventually he will. Anyway, I hope that everything is going fine with you. My energy levels were good today. Had a lot of tinnitus, though, and a lot of energy around my crown chakra and my third eye today. What are your ascension symptoms today? If you want to discuss it, you can go ahead and send me a message at anchor.fm/metaphysical. So you could send me a message if you want to keep it private. Say the words private during some part of the recording that you send me. Or you could just send me a message at soulspeakradio.com. So I had a lovely surprise today. Sometimes people add me on Twitter, and people have been adding me on Instagram, and it's been pretty interesting. Like, okay, as my show goes on, I'll get 2 or 3 people. Sometimes it's random, sometimes it's people I met on my travels who finally got around to adding me. And sometimes it's just my friends that I've known forever, and they just got a new Instagram account. But I was not at all prepared for Peter Burns to add me today. He added me. I did not add him first. He added me first. And it kind of shocked the hell out of me. I'm like, Peter Burns, I think I know this guy. Well, of course I know him. He was in the band Adamant. I mean, Dead or Alive with Adamant. So sorry. He wasn't in a band called Adamant. He was in Dead or Alive with the singer, God rest his soul, Adamant. I don't know if you are familiar with this band, but they played a song, You Spin Me Around Like a Record. And I loved that song, and I must have played it 200 times a week when it was popular and on the radio. And I only had one channel when the wind blew correctly out on the prairie in the Minnesota plains when I was in high school. And if our antenna was just right and we added just enough aluminum foil to the rabbit ears on top of our TV, we sometimes could get Friday night videos. The first videos in the whole wide world, at least according to those of us that lived in Minnesota, were a part of the Friday Night Videos TV show. And it was every Friday night at 10 o'clock at night until midnight. And those were the first videos in the 80s. In 1985, I think, to 86, every Friday night was reserved for my baby brother, who is still my baby brother, even though he's 6'4", and he's a huge person. I mean, he was for a time playing with the Minnesota Vikings, at least training with them to play as their quarterback. So he's a big guy. Well, every Friday night we watched Friday Night Videos, and every time Adamant came on singing this song with his band Dead or Alive, I just flipped out. So, I mean, fast forward close to 40 years later, and Peter Burns adds me on Instagram. So, I don't know, Peter Burns, if you're listening to this show. If you are, I'm giving you a big shout out because I just love you. I loved Dead or Alive, and I am thrilled to the teeth that we're connected, even if it's electronically, even if it's virtually. I think it's pretty cool that we're connected on Instagram. I don't know, once in a great while, I will have people follow me that just blow my mind. So, coming up with the main part of the show tonight, I am going to talk to you guys about the man behind Reiki, Master Mikao Usui, or Usui Sensei, as the Reiki students in Japan used to call him. I'm going to talk a little bit about his life, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about what is Reiki. What is it exactly? Everyone has heard about it by now. It's almost as popular as feng shui, and some people don't even know what feng shui is. Well, I'm going to have to do a show on feng shui at some point, but right now, tonight, you are going to walk away from this episode knowing what Reiki is, knowing the special rules for Reiki practitioners, and, well, a few other goodies. I'm going to tell you how to get Reiki for free from me anytime, day or night, and you don't have to call me. Don't call me at 3 a.m. I'm probably still partying. I'm just kidding. You don't have to call me for it. I'm going to show you exactly, I'm going to tell you exactly what to say. I have perfected this in myself so that I can heal tens of thousands of people at any given time. And you are no different. It is free for everybody from me. But we're going to go over it, and that'll be right after this next message. Hey you, have you ever thought about having your own podcast like me? Was it even a New Year's resolution? For me, it sure was. But as I've been looking into this for months, I was daunted. There's so many questions I had. When I was trying to get this off the ground, I was wondering, how do I record the episode? How do I get it across all the platforms? How do I get my podcast on Apple Podcasts when I don't even have an iPhone? How do I get it onto Spotify and all the other places? How do I get people to listen? And how do I make money from my podcast? How do I edit it? Oh my God, I had all these questions, and I was so confused until I discovered the simple answer is Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free, and it is ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. All you need to do is record it. You don't have to go out and look for people to advertise on your show. They help you. So basically what I like about podcasting is I don't have to have a video of myself. You don't know if my hair is dirty or if I'm still in my pajamas or even if I'm wearing makeup. Haha. And it's so easy. I could do this from the comfort of my own home in my living room using this amazing app right from my cell phone. So easy, right? So if you've always wanted to start your own podcast and make money, by the way, doing it, please go to anchor.fm/start. That is anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters that are already using Anchor. Again, that's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast, and I can't wait to favorite you. Woohoo! Let's be broadcast podcast buddies. I'll see you there. Reiki is love. Love is wholeness. Wholeness is balance. Balance is well-being. And well-being is freedom from disease. Dr. Mikao Usui. Or as those of us who practice Reiki call him, Usui Sensei. Sensei means teacher in Japanese. Well, Mikao Usui, I found out just today, was a Leo. Oh, I love Leos. Leos are the sweetest people in the world. They're very loving and caring. They want everyone to give them, attention, but at the same time, it's only because they really love everybody. They want everyone happy, and so they have to be the center of attention so they can control the energy in a room. That's a typical thing of a typical Leo. Not every Leo is the same, of course, but maybe this is what Mikao Usui was about, because he became the person to discover Reiki in his own way. There had been energy healers before him, of course. Jesus is kind of a famous one. Obviously, right? There's been Reiki, universal energy healers all over the planet. But the way in which Mikao Usui discovered Reiki is extremely interesting and also unique. He was born in 1865 in Japan, near what is today called Nagoya, Japan. And he was just born in a little village. And he was very, very interested in learning, and he was a very hard worker when it came to his studies. And when he grew older, he traveled to China, he traveled to Europe, and he furthered his education in every possible way that he could. He studied medicine and psychology and religion and even the art of divination. You see, in Asia in those days and even now, having the ability of gifted sight, or basically psychic power, that is actually a worthy skill to have. It's considered, highly. It's regarded highly. So Usui Sensei became a member of a metaphysical group that was that was dedicated to developing psychic abilities, okay? The name of this metaphysical group was Rei Jiutu Ka. And so he spent some time with these people, just trying to develop his psychic ability. But he also had normal jobs. He was a civil servant and a journalist. He also just was a normal employee in a company for a while. He even helped to rehabilitate prisoners. Eventually, he became the secretary to Shinpei Goto, who was the head of the Department of the Health and Welfare. And later, this man became the mayor of Tokyo. So he made a lot of good connections during his working days, and this in turn helped him to become a successful businessman, and he became a highly respected individual of his community and eventually the world after he discovered Reiki. So all this stuff, though, led him to question his life and question himself more and more and more and more, just like, well, we all do after a while. And he worried about not being able to discover his true purpose in life. He knew he was here for a reason. He just couldn't figure it out for a while. So he searched and searched and searched. And eventually he discovered that there was a special state of consciousness that somebody can achieve that not only provides the understanding of what your life purpose is, but also guides you to achieve it. But when you are in this state called Anchin Ritus Me, this will also put you in a state of peace, regardless of whatever else is taking place in the outer world outside of your own spirit and mind. Now I'm going to stop right here and tell you guys something. I have noticed this in every millionaire or multimillionaire that I have ever met, and I've always wondered. I mean, and I'm not saying I've only met 2 or 3. I've met 26 millionaires, at least a dozen multi, if not 100 millionaires. And I even have met a couple billionaires. And the people that only have $1 million to $2 million, they don't have this. They're always like worried about losing it. Oh man, I'm $1,000 under $1 million. I'm not a millionaire anymore. You know, they're still stressing, still kind of trying to achieve that. But people who have 10 million or more in the bank, I have noticed there's a calm and a peace. And it's something that I've never been able to put a finger on. And now I'm reading this description. I'm going, okay, all right. I don't think that all these people have discovered the secret from Japan about this. But in the Western world, it's just something I've just noticed. And it's almost like nothing can touch you. Nothing in the outer world can, half the world could be on fire, but you've got your money, your family is safe. And it's not about the money. It's about the security, the safety. You're surrounded by people that you love, and you love them, and you can protect them. And I think that is another, it's weird, but it's a way to achieve this peace, because I've always asked millionaires, like, they go, do you want, what do you have any questions for me? Usually they expect me to go, how did you make your money? Or will you give me some money? Or will you teach me how? Usually my question is, why are you so peaceful? What is that? Where did you get that? And the only person that discussed it at length was T. Harv Eker, and he literally spent 2.5 years in a Buddhist monastery learning Kung Fu, the same place that my kids and I considered going to spend a couple years, where you eat, breathe, sleep, live the Zen life. And so I feel like there's something there. That's in China. But, other than that, I don't know what it is. It's just something I've noticed, and I've only ever noticed this in people that have made it. And it's only in people that have made it from coming from nothing. People that were born with a silver spoon don't have this peace. They still tend to be restless because they're still searching for something more. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird aside. I thought I'd bring that up. If you guys have any special insight into this, I would certainly love to hear it. So please shoot me a message, or, somehow get in touch with me, whether it's, Mermaid Girl 888 on Instagram or Twitter. I don't know. I'm super, super curious about that. So, okay. So the special state in Japan is called Anshin Ritusume, and you are always at peace regardless of what is taking place in the outer world. And from the place of peace that you achieve, it will help you to complete your life's purpose. Well, Dr. Usui was extremely interested in achieving this peace. And, peace is interesting. It's something that everybody in every culture around the world, regardless of what language they speak or what they believe or what society tells them, everybody wants to achieve inner peace, don't they? I might have to do a future show on just peace. And I don't mean people not killing each other with weapons. I mean just the inner peace, your day-to-day vibe of everything is okay. Everything is going to be okay. Egg Bach, EGB okay. Everything is going to be okay. I don't know. There's something about this inner peace that it can lead to enlightenment. It is a special type of enlightenment. So one of the special features of the state, it says here on Reiki.org, is that it maintains itself. Once you've achieved it, it will maintain itself without any effort on the part of the individual. The experience of peace will simply well up spontaneously from within. And this is a form of enlightenment. It's something that after we faced our demons and our shadow side and our shadow selves, and we have discovered all those bits and pieces of the past that we haven't quite let go of, I think that we're all going to eventually get there when we hit that ascension level. So it's something we should all maybe strive and work for. Now I'm going to tell you how Dr. Usui Sensei did it. Please don't do this for yourself because, well, it's pretty intense. So while Sensei understood this concept on an intellectual level, he dedicated his life actually to achieving this inner peace. And he also felt it would be a very important step along his personal spiritual path. He thought that Zazen meditation would be the way to do it. So after years and years of meditating in a Zen way, he still wasn't really successful. 3 years he tried. 3 years every day under the tutelage of a Zen teacher. And he was unable to achieve that inner peace. Now, I know how hard it is. I started meditating and it was 5 minutes a night. And then it was 10 minutes a night. And then it was 15 minutes a night. And it was a mother freaking struggle for like 4 years or something. But towards the end of those 4 years, I finally was achieving a modicum of inner peace. It wasn't this kind of peace, though. It wasn't the kind that just bubbles up no matter what. It was the kind of peace that after 4.5 freaking hours sitting on the floor covered in a blanket, I was finally able to feel the peace. I still didn't know God officially, but, I was in God's neighborhood, as it were. It's hard. It is hard, and I respect him for this. It's really hard. So he sought further guidance. And so his teacher finally said, okay, well, there is one more way. There is always one more way, isn't it? This is the one way that you wish they would have told you the week one, but you would never have appreciated it. So you have to spend 3 years of your life wasting away in meditative silence until you realize it's not freaking working. Okay, back to my episode. I understand the frustration. I really, really do. And any one of you out there, if you have gone through this, you totally get it too. It's so, so hard. You have to have discipline. You have to have desire. And in giving up all your worldly desires, you still have the one desire to find God and that inner peace. Well, his teacher told him, you have to be willing to die in order to achieve Anshin Ritsumai. Yep. So with this in mind, Mikao Usui Sensei decided to prepare for his own death in February of 1922. He went to a sacred mountain north of Kyoto. The name of the mountain was Kurama Yama. It reminds me of Pachamama. It's what they call Mother Earth here in Ecuador. Anyway, he went to the sacred mountain Kurama Yama. He went to fast and meditate until he passed into the next world. He kept it in his mind he was probably just gonna die and nothing good is gonna come of it. And he didn't even know if he was gonna achieve this peace or not. He just hoped that before he died, he would achieve it. Now, if you were to ask a bunch of different people in Japan what he did on that mountain, a lot of people would say, I have a feeling he stood underneath this famous waterfall. It was a very small waterfall, but a lot of people go up there and they meditate and they stand under the waterfall. And as the water pours on top of their head, some people get their crown chakra activated. So some people think this might have happened. It's kind of a common thing in this part of Japan. A lot of Japanese Reiki masters believe it. I don't know what to believe. I believe what he reported, but sure, why not? Maybe he needed to take a shower. You never know. Maybe that's what he did. Anyway, he was up on this mountain and he grew weaker and weaker and weaker with every passing day as his food dwindled and he just wasn't achieving what he wanted. And well, thank God for all of us. He was a very disciplined person and he was very, stubborn. He was a Leo, after all. Leos are known for being stubborn, not as stubborn as Tauruses or Aries, but they're still up there as far as the top, 5 signs out there that are stubborn. He wasn't Irish, so he couldn't fall back on that. It had to be the Leo thing. So, in any case, it was 1 month he was up there, almost a month. In March of 1922, at midnight on his 21st day, a powerful light suddenly entered his mind through the top of his head. He felt as if he had been struck by lightning because it was that powerful. It was so intense that it caused him to fall unconscious. As the sun rose, he woke up, and even though he was very weak and he was near death from all of his fasting, I guess I thought he was eating a little bit of grain every day. Apparently he ran out of grain and ended up just fasting for the last, week or two. Anyway, he had this extremely enjoyable sense of vitality inside of his body. He never experienced this miraculous type of high frequency, high vibrational spiritual energy ever in his life. So it had replaced his normal consciousness, which is what he was looking for. And he had this new amazing level of awareness. He experienced himself as being the energy and consciousness of the universe. And this special state of enlightenment made him overjoyed. And he was like, oh my God, yippee. Okay, he probably didn't say yippee. They probably don't say yippee in Japan. They probably don't even say woohoo or yahoo. I don't know what he said. I wasn't there. I wasn't born yet. Well, I was, but I wasn't living in Japan at the time. And I wasn't me at the time. Anyway, he was filled with so much excitement, he started running down the hill. And as he's running down the hill, now this part does sound like something would happen to me. He stubbed his toe on a rock and he fell down. And just like anybody would do, he was like, oh, my toe, my toe, my toe. And he grabbed his toe. And all of this healing energy started flowing from his hands all by itself naturally. And the pain in his toe went away and his toe was healed immediately. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how Reiki was born. At least coming from Usui Sensei. He then, at that moment, realized that he was a healer. And his life purpose was to give this wonderful energy to other people and train other people how to also give this energy to others. So 1 month later, he moved to Tokyo and he started a healing society. And he named this, I'm not going to tell you the Japanese name, but in English, it was the Usui Reiki Healing Method Society. He then opened a Reiki clinic and he taught classes and he gave treatments. Now, in the beginning, he was the only healer and he had that, all he had was the healing energy. But he decided to develop this as a Reiki practice. And after the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923, he noticed that the earthquake and resulting tsunami did a lot of damage. It killed and injured thousands of people. There were so many people needed healing. He had to do something to speed up the ability to train his teachers. So basically, he gave the Reiki to people by holding their hands, and they would focus on the energy and it would flow from him to them. And this part, it took a little, it took a while, they'd have to sit together in meditation and then they would receive it directly from his hands to their hands and until they were able to sustain this energy on their own. And in time, he developed the famous Reiki symbols that we have today. And I'm thinking, I actually made a really beautiful painting of a mountain in Japan with cherry blossoms for my good friend here in Ecuador. And I gave it to him for Christmas, but I took a picture of it. So I'm probably going to upload this picture on my Instagram by tomorrow. So if you go to Instagram and follow me, you can look at my pictures, and that's at mermaidgirl888. There is a symbol. I wrote in binary code, I love you, thank you, which is half of the Ho'oponopono. And those words alone are just healing in and of themselves. And then I put a Reiki symbol that would flow that Reiki to anyone who sees it. I did this for him personally to hang in his walls, so he would always have a flow of healthy energy in his apartment, which I thought was a pretty cool gift. binary code because he's a computer nerd. It's kind of I'm a Heyoka shaman, so it's kind of a funny gift for me to give someone. I do this beautiful piece of art with binary code. But if you look at it, it will heal you. It is a healing image. So feel free to check that out when you're done listening to this episode and sharing it with all of your friends. Anyway, getting back to our little story. So Reiki was basically, he created these symbols and he put these symbols, and he set up a situation in which teachers could pass this from themselves to someone else. So he's not the only one giving out the Reiki energy. And he gave it to several people. One of those people gave it to a lady in Hawaii, who gave it to someone who gave it to my teacher, who gave it to me. So I don't know. I'm like 6 degrees of separation removed from Dr. Usui, and I am a Reiki master, and I have been for many years. So let's see. In fact, if you go back to, I had an episode I did about keeping calm in time of a crisis, and that is actually the teacher who I got my Reiki master teacher training from. She was attacked in her home 24 hours after she gave me Reiki. So they must have, the dark side must have sent something in her and I, because when our energy got together, we lit up the frickin' neighborhood, and within 24 hours, she was attacked physically. But she got out of it. We can always get out of it, guys, no matter how bad it gets. You just have to keep your faith in the great divine and in God, and you'll get through it. So please, if you haven't listened to that, go back in time, if you will, and listen to this, because it is a really positive and inspirational story from Sandra Lynn Joseph, my Reiki teacher. So, okay, let's see here. Getting back to our story. Basically, there was some of the things that I've been taught in the Western world were a little bit erroneous and maybe not 100% correct, or people would read like the really long history and then they shortened it down and embellished a little bit, which is always fun to do. But so pretty much what I told you was the story. I wanted to tell you, though, something that has been translated into English directly from phrases that were on Dr. Usui Sensei's gravestone marker, which is this enormous monolith of a creature. If you ever see it, it's pretty amazing. And it has all of like the history of his life. It's pretty incredible. So, I mean, if ever I go to Japan, you best believe I am going to go to visit my sensei, my teacher. But in the English version of it, I'm going to tell you, these are the tenets of Reiki, or the 5 Reiki principles. Just for today, I will not anger. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will be kind to every living being. If you live by these principles, whether you are a Reiki practitioner or not, you might achieve this level of peace that so many people seek. And you don't have to be a billionaire to do it. It's very simple, right? If you could just say, I'm not going to be angry today. I'm not going to worry today. Just for today. Now, tomorrow I could get as mad as hell. Tomorrow I can worry. Just keep putting it off. See, but there's a very powerful secret, is all you ever have is today. Because tomorrow doesn't exist. Not just because we're living in the Matrix, but because you're always in the present moment, whether your mind is in the future or in the past. Your physical body is only here today. So just for today, don't worry. Just for today, don't anger. Just for today, feel grateful. Have an attitude of gratitude. And for today, have integrity. Do your work honestly. And for today, just be nice to everybody. Whether that other body is a spider, oh God, or a bird outside your window pecking to get in so they can eat your birdseed. Fred and Ethel, they're probably asleep. They can't hear me right now. Or whether that living creature that you should be nice to is your baby brother and he's irritating you, or your nasty older sister, or a ungrateful, hawk, or I was going to say husband, but H words. That was fun timing, wasn't it, guys? I didn't do that on purpose. It just happened. So I'm going to tell you guys, I have been a Reiki master for, 4 years, but I've been doing Reiki over 10 years, well over 10 years. I had the first level of Reiki, and I didn't get around to gain the second and third until later. Then I got them on the same day, and you're not supposed to, but I had been working with it for so long, and I've been meditating for so long, and I had been, just determined to get my Reiki master teacher training done. And so I did it. And it was a lot of energy, boy. Woo-wee. And Reiki will only flow as much and effectively as your channel is big and open. So it's kind of like a straw. In the beginning, it's just like a straw you stir coffee with that you get at a car wash or a place where they sell cars. Anything to do with cars. They'll teeny tiny red straws. And then the more you practice, it becomes like, a normal straw. And then after a while, the straw that you would drink a big fat milkshake with. If you're not American, I know I sound like a crazy person right now. If you're American, you're shaking your head and laughing your butt off right now. I know you are, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. And eventually, it's like your inner channel in which you can channel this universal life energy. Basically, and that's what Reiki means, by the way. Rei is universal, and Qi is the same thing as the Chinese Qi, the life force that permeates everything in the universe. So what I'm able to do is I just take what's around me in the universe and I can channel it. So it's just kind of randomly hanging out, in the air, whatever. Well, my body has become like a magnet for it because I am a Reiki master, and it comes into my body and it flows through me and it goes to where it is supposed to go. When you're a Reiki level 1, you have to touch the person that you are treating. And so they have to come to your home or to your office, or you could go to their house, and I just, I would work with my animals and my kids and my neighbors and until I got to be really good at it. And you can actually direct the energy to yourself if you are a Reiki practitioner. Now, the thing is, though, with Reiki is when you lay your hands on somebody the way that Jesus did to heal, and you're channeling the energy, sometimes whatever it is that they had, especially if you're an empath, especially if you're a medical intuitive empath, or a deeply intuitive empath, it will sometimes the energy will back up and you will get whatever affliction the person you were treating gets or had. So when they feel better and happy and they're bebopping along home and they're happy, if you forget to wash your hands in ice cold water for at least I would say 10 seconds, but I mean a good minute to 3 minutes will erase all of the negative energy. It'll just drain it away from you. That's the easiest. If you have a creek or river near your home, that's more better, but people just normally use their bathroom sink. Then you can, erase all of the negativity and any backtracking that energy from that person did. Because as you're putting the Reiki into their body, the other energy has to go somewhere. And sometimes it goes back into you. But the other good thing is, though, as a Reiki practitioner, if you do other forms or modalities of healing, if you are, for example, a masseuse, and you're always giving your energy, your pranic life force to the person you're massaging, that will exhaust you. But when you're a Reiki practitioner and you're doing massage, you will always have the amount that you give to that person will flow into you as well. Because as you're healing and serving others, as you serve God by serving others, that energy will flow through your body and you are given back at least 100-fold, right? You're always getting that flow of energy going. And then you wash your hands and now you feel good too. So massage therapists who have this, or other forms of healers that do Reiki also, will not tire as easily, and they will not wear themselves down as easily. They won't break down and have arthritis in their joints in time. They won't have other problems. So it's something to consider if you are a healer and you are doing other things like a massage. Just go get your Reiki practitioner, and don't trust the people that say I'm on eBay and I could just send it your way. No, you have to be with somebody who's there in the room with you, and they have to draw the magical symbols on your hands basically and pass it from their hands to your hands. The Reiki energy that flows through my body was once the energy that came from Dr. Usui. God rest his soul. So basically, the second and third level of Reiki, you can send it to someone from across the room or across the world. I've never tried sending it to people on other planets, but it's probably possible. My channel of Reiki has opened again, more and more and more and more, because I started to give this to my moms and my family and my neighbors' animals and my neighbors and my kids. And I just started naturally flowing it. And I used to have a list of names I'd write down on a paper. And then I would ask for the Reiki to flow to them. And I would only ask if their higher selves allowed it. And if they were not allowed to receive healing, or they did not want to receive healing, if I wasn't able to ask them directly. I had a couple cases where people were in comas, or they were very sick and they had a fever and they were delirious and out of their minds, and they couldn't say yes, or for whatever reason, people I couldn't reach by phone or internet. So I would say if their spirit allows it, then allow it to flow, because I don't believe in interfering with the free will of other human beings, because that is wrong. So some people choose to die, in a specific way. And if you heal them, you just screwed up what they came to do. So dying for 2 or 3 months, do so that the people around them can open up their hearts to greater love and greater compassion. And if you interfere with that, you just interfere not with the one person, but with everybody around them, you see. So you always have to ask if their higher self allows it, and if it's for their highest good and the highest good of all the people around them, and for your own personal highest good to help them, allow it to be. And what happens with the universal life force energy, the Reiki, if they do not accept it, it will go to the next available person who has prayed for healing and wanted healing, asked for it, and they are willing openly to accept it. So I discovered, if you go back to my healing grids episodes, I have 2 episodes on grids around the earth. and they're about healing. And there's very, very many ideas on how you can do this, how you can affect your neighborhood and your world and your own personal, from your bedroom to your whole house and your yard and everyone in your family. But also I had in one of these episodes a very special section for healers like me, because I helped to create a system of healing around the world. It is a universal healing grid. It is overlaid around the whole planet. And it's, at least from my perspective, it's pink. It's like pink squares or pink, a grid. And so anywhere in the world that you're walking, this grid exists. Anywhere in the world that you are, you can ask for healing, and it's going to come up from the grid, and it will come up through your feet, through the chakras in your feet, and flow through your body to heal you. If you need it to flow into your heart first, it will just flow straight up and go into your heart or into your crown chakra and go down. However your body needs this, because Reiki is a universal life force energy. It is divinely intelligent. It is from God directly. I cannot control who it helps and who it doesn't help. I cannot control where in your body it goes. I cannot affect your body in any other way other than giving you this beautiful energy, and your body will decide and determine what it needs, and that will flow directly to you according to your needs. It will flow to the cells in your body according to your needs. So don't ever worry that a Reiki practitioner is out to get you, or maybe they're not, maybe they're trying to hurt you with their Reiki. That's impossible, because it is divinely intelligent and is beyond the scope and reach of the mind of the person who has the Reiki. That's why you can become a Reiki master in one day, because you're not having to study from a book. You don't have to take exams. You don't have to pass, a test for the state or your government. It's very, very simple. So even though it says the word master, don't let that fool you. You could get this in a day. It takes 3 days, but you have to have years between the steps, because a lot of people have a hard time handling so much energy at once. So if you are interested in doing this as a practitioner, do it the correct way. Have someone literally put their hands on you that is a Reiki healer. Don't try to cut corners by going on YouTube to learn a video. Don't go to the bookstore and grab a book on Reiki and think that now you are a Reiki practitioner. I have a friend who told me, well, I do Reiki naturally. I'm just a Reiki healer. Oh, it's so exhausting afterwards. I'm so tired. No, you're not. Because, okay, yeah, you are, but you're not tired from Reiki. You don't have Reiki. If you don't have it and you haven't been given that certificate and given like your lineage papers, if you weren't given that, then you don't have it. Someone could, print up a certificate and say over the internet they gave it to you, but you don't have it if they don't touch your hands. You might have another form of healing. I don't doubt that at all, not even for a second. But you have to have that direct contact in order to have this particular lineage of Reiki, this particular form of it. But it doesn't cost much. I mean, I think I paid $40 or $50 for my second. I think I did not spend more than $150 to $200 for everything, including all the certificates and the paperwork and stuff. And it's not even that much. It's like, it fills maybe 2 notebooks. And so, and I have gotten books that talk about ways to use Reiki and stories. There's a lot of stories out there in which it's healed. I had a cat that came to me and asked for healing, and I said, come on in. And she came to me and waited by my door, screaming and yelling at me if I came home late. God forbid. Random cat, she'd come up 3 flights of stairs. The poor baby had cancer. She had big tumors in her chest. And I think people around her had been fighting, and she took the negative energy, but she didn't know how to channel it out, and it became cancer in her body. In fact, a lot of times when animals get cancer if it's not due to environmental factors. A lot of times it has to do with the energy of the people around her. I mean, even if it's someone single and living alone, if they're stressed out, the animal will take that energy. Cats naturally do Reiki, and so it's rare for this to happen, but in this case it did happen. So she asked me for healing, and I let her in my house, and she came and took up my whole frickin' bed. And she would kick me off my bed. Sometimes I'd wake up sleeping on the floor. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, you're kind of a fat cat. She was a Siamese with big blue eyes. But anyway, we would go to sleep, and I put my hands around her and asked for the Reiki to flow. In 3 weeks, she did not have cancer anymore, and she was thinner, and she felt great. And that's when I was going around Lima, and I was healing all the animals. So, like I said, I work for God. I don't make a lot of money working for God, but hopefully, inshallah, ojalá, as they say in Spanish, as God wills it, I will get money from selling the books about the stories, about healing all the people and the animals and the land and everything that I've done working for God. So hopefully that's what's going to happen with me. But so when it comes to Reiki, like I said, it's just a divine universal flow. Now, how do you get a Reiki treatment for yourself? You could go to reiki.org and look up a healer. I recommend that you go and get someone to heal you in person. It's a marvelous experience. You feel like you could talk and get some stuff off your chest while you're being treated. Sometimes a person will also do massage, and they'll have soft music and incense and or essential oils, and it'll be a wonderful experience, and it'll give you like a mini spa day or a vacation day. But what if you're stuck in Siberia and you don't have access to somebody, or you don't have money to pay for this, or you just don't have the time? I'm going to tell you right now, day or night, anytime, these are the words that you need to say. And I guarantee 100%, because God promised me this is always going to be true. As long as there is breath in my body and I am living, and I have my Reiki flow on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Usually Reiki practitioners will turn their Reiki on, heal their patients, turn their Reiki off, and then go and wash their hands. And then they don't turn it on again until, they make it like a faucet turning on and off. Well, it is an unending supply of divine light and universal energy. So I decided just to keep it on 100% of the time. And I've been doing this for over 10 years. And as a result, I have become a very powerful healer. And I don't recommend for everybody because it can burn out your nervous system. But I also had, before I started this, I had 10 years of meditation experience behind me. And before that, I had 10 years of studying spiritual practices. And also, I'm a hereditary witch. That might help, that it's in my blood, in my DNA, to heal. And I am of the light. I work for God. So I love to heal people, and this is what I do. So my universal flow of Reiki has been uninterrupted and flowing free throughout my whole body for probably 10 years or more. And as a result, I have a very, very, very big open wide channel. So if you need healing right this very moment, whether you have a paper cut, a stub toe, a migraine headache, or cancer, or anything, and you need that extra boost of energy to feel better for today, I'm not saying this is a cure-all, end-all, be-all, because it's not, but it is something that will help you. You still got to eat healthy and see a doctor and all that, but it's just a nice complement, an alternative, extra, it's just, the cherry on top of the sundae. Okay. It's a whipped cream on top of your coffee. All right. So this is what you do. At least to get it from me, this is what you do. You say, I would like to be in contact with the higher self of Elena Fox Starks. And at this moment, I would like to receive Reiki energy from her. And then just take, a couple deep breaths and say, I allow this. You have to give permission. And it's going to flow automatically and naturally. You don't have to ask me for it. It's always free. If you want to sponsor my show and give me 99 cents a month, it's fine with me. You don't need to stop the flow of energy. You can get it for the rest of your life. As long as I'm alive, you can get this energy. It's not going to harm me any. It's going to only give me more energy, which in turn will give you more energy. And also will help me to heal other people as well. At any given time, I'm healing 10 to 30,000 people. I had several groups in which I belonged on Facebook that had 1 million to 2 million people. So I went ahead and I told 10 different groups who, and so there's millions, there's probably 6 or 7 million people. Actually, maybe 10 million, I think was the last count. 10 million people know about this. So, at any given time, I'm healing like 30,000, 20,000, 17,000. In fact, let me ask right now, higher self, I'd like to be connected with you. Am I connected with you? Great. How many people am I healing right now? Am I healing over 30,000 people right now? Am I healing over 40,000 people right now? Am I healing less than 37,000 people? Am I healing less than 36,000? Am I healing less than 33,000? Am I healing more than 34,000? Am I healing 34,000 people right now? I'm healing 34,000 people right now. That's how you do that. And I did that with muscle testing, the yes and no. Go back to the kinesiology episode to find out how to do that for yourself. I'm giving you guys all the secrets in this, in my Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. It's time. I'm not going to hold anything back. And as we go on with this, you're going to get more and more secrets and more insights and things that I've been studying my whole life. Because it's time. I believe in sharing. I am you, you are me, in Lakech. Mitakue o oyasen. I am another yourself. We all are one. So you ask my higher self and the energy will flow. Well, what does Reiki energy flow like? What does it feel like? What should I expect? Well, don't expect your electricity to go out or your light bulbs to be popping left and right, or, don't expect things to blow up. It's not dramatic like you would see in TV shows. It's actually very pleasant. If you experience it as warmth, maybe it's because you need to rest and it's going to relax you. You will feel relaxed. You will feel warm. You will feel sometimes a cool energy, especially if you have inflammation of your joints, like arthritis. Sometimes you'll come across as a very cooling sensation. And sometimes it's not hot or cold, it's just electric. And sometimes you don't feel anything at all. But if you've asked my higher self and you have said, I accept any and all Reiki that you will send my way, out loud or in your mind, or even write it down if you don't want anyone to hear you talking alone in your room like I'm doing right now, that's okay. But as long as you acknowledge and accept it, and if it's for your higher good, it's going to flow. You don't even have to feel it. You're just going to feel better. And you can cut off the flow of Reiki if it gets to be too much. You could just say, okay, Reiki, stop. That's all I have to say. Just stop. Reiki, stop. And then when you need it again, ask my higher self again. You could even tell your higher self a special word. So instead of saying all of that, maybe you could say your word is blue bonnet. Something you wouldn't say normally. So if you need the Reiki to flow, just say blue bonnet. And then blue bonnet, stop when you're done. Why not? You could do it like that. Your higher self knows what you mean, and your higher self will always work in conjunction with your higher greatest good, your highest greatest good for your healing. So that's my advice, at least on that. I do this with the utmost love and pure. I'm pure of heart when it comes to this stuff. All I want to do is see people well and healthy. I don't expect anything in return. Just your undying devotion as a Metaphysical Soul Speak fan. Tell your friends, spread the word. I need to get more and more listeners, get the word out as we go through the Ascension Gate together. I want to connect more with my soul tribe and my soul family. And I want to know that I'm actually here and I'm actually helping people. So, it is what it is. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you enjoy receiving your free Reiki. And it will be coming. Usually Reiki practitioners will send through their hands, but I send this through the Universal Healing Grid, so it will reach you immediately. I am not the only one sending energy into this grid. So you're going to have people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands in time will be putting into this energy healing grid, and everyone will be able to access quick, fast, lightning fast healing, and you will be feeling well and healthy. I mean, use it. If you're on your way to a job interview and you're scared, you're a little bit nervous and excited but nervous, ask for the Reiki to come. Ask for it to calm you down. Ask for emotional healing and mental healing and spiritual healing and psychological healing and physical healing. It's always going to be a supplement to all the other stuff that you're doing. But it's always there. It's 100% free when it comes from me. And from that grid, by the way. I'm not the only one putting into the grid. I'm not the only one that built the grid. It's been built by other healers. And I was told directly by Brother Yeshua or Jesus. His spirit came and told me about the grid, told me to start building it, and I did. So that's all I got to say about that, guys. I love you very, very much. Love you with my heart, my mind, my soul. And I'm always here. I'm always going to be your resident healer, or healer in residence. As long as I'm a resident of the planet, even when I'm off world. Someday maybe I'll be flying free through the stars, and maybe I'll be a master commander of the Pleiadian light ships. I don't know. Who the hell knows what the future holds, right? But as long as there's a breath in me, you guys can get my Reiki energy for free. But again, go to reiki.org in the event that you want to see someone in person. Why not? It'll be really good for you. A little mini spa day, a spa vacation day. Those are always lovely, always welcome. Anyway, it's time for me to go to bed and get ready for tomorrow, in which I will create another episode of Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. So now I am signing off with peace and joy and love and Reiki and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Until next time. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.